Look at this! It's a sticker of my cat! Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. I do all sorts of planner and stationery things here on the YouTubes, and today we are going to be going through my Hobonichi Weeks 2 weeks planner setup. I keep my Hobonichi Weeks in this cover, which houses 2 Hobonichi Weeks. And I have one for work and one for personal. So we're gonna go through both of those today, how I set them up and how they work together. Before we jump right into the video, I do want to give a shout out to today's sponsor. It's customsticker.com. Customsticker.com is a website where you can send your own images to and they will make stickers for you. So I sent them a few of my images and I'm so excited about what I got back. This is a sticker I made on Canva. I was seeing Death Before Decaf like shirts and other merch advertised to me on like social media, and I just made this in Canva. I thought it was really cute. I got my channel name, which is so exciting. I don't know, there's just something special about seeing my channel name like in print in a sticker. I'm just kind of happy with it. And then lastly, I got my cat. She's my pride and joy. Her name is Coffee, and she just looks so perfect in this sticker that I got. So thank you so much to customsticker.com for the sponsor. I will take you guys over to the flat lay where we can look through my setup. So as you guys know, if you've been watching my videos, I've been keeping my Hobonichi Weeks planners in this 2 weeks planner cover from a shop called Planner Vintage. It's on Etsy. I've gotten a lot of requests for the link to this particular planner cover, so I'm going to go ahead and leave that in the description below as well. This cover is leather. It has this strap. It's sort of like a traveler's notebook style cover, and you just unstrap it like that, and then both of the weeks are in here. So on the left, I have my work Hobonichi Weeks, and on the right, I have my personal Hobonichi Weeks, and they are just inside the planner cover pockets. And if I wanted to add anything additional, there are these strings here in the middle, or I could loop these around the planners, but this is what works for me. The planner cover also has a little pen loop, which honestly is pretty useless. I mostly just slot my pen in like that, like using it sort of for the pen clip rather than actually putting my whole pen in there. And that works fine for me. It's not a deal breaker. One of the other things I like about this cover is that it has a bunch of pockets. So obviously the pockets on the side were critical for me because I wanted that for my planners. But there's this pocket, which I will use for something someday, and then a couple of other sort of credit card sized pockets, which are just like the perfect size for stickers, as well as in the back. They have the same sort of type of pockets there too. So the reason I'm showing you a setup of both of my Hobonichi Weeks together is because this is what I am referring to as my everyday carry, my EDC. And this is what goes in my bag. This is what comes with me to work when I work in the office. This is what comes with me to coffee shops, to doctor's offices, to everything. If you saw my planner lineup video, I'll link that up above in the cards. If you saw that video, you know that the Champagne Gold Weeks is for work, and then I described this as like a hobbies journal. That has changed just a little bit. I figured I need to actually pack a little bit more information in there because it is going to be my everyday carry and it's my only personal planner that I'm taking with me on the road. So we'll go over what was added to this planner as well and how I added it, but it's still pretty much going to be like a personal hobbies, everything I do on the side besides work, including like chores and household and all that kind of stuff too. So when you open up the planner, you open up to my work weeks in the front cover here. This is where I put my Death Before Decaf sticker. I just think it's so cute. In the front cover, I have several sticker sheets from Sweet Freckle Design. It says Caffeine and Paper Co. up here. That's just what she used to be called. And I use these for a variety of reasons throughout all of my planners, actually. The ones I use the most are going to be the like YouTube and a phone. She doesn't have an Instagram one, so I just use the phone as Instagram. YouTube, Instagram. I just got rid of my birthdays sheet. I just finished the like birthday cake sheet that she has, but these are from her itty bitty minimal collection, and they're just the actual perfect size for the Hobonichi Weeks and for most like smaller planners that you're gonna find. So they're really minimal. You'll see them in action in this planner too. And then in this part of the cover and here, I have some functional stickers from Paper Minty Studio. So these ones were supposed to be squares, but I just like cut them with an X-Acto knife. So now they are corner triangles and I don't have to like buy more. But I haven't been able to find a really good use for any of the other functional stickers that I have from Paper Minty Studio. I just keep them in here in hopes that I will be inspired to use them. But definitely like buying this sort of like packet from Paper Minty Studio was like my trial with functional stickers, and I found that the corner ones are really my fave. So I will be rebuying some corner ones when her shop reopens, or if I can find some substitutes on Etsy or something like that. But yeah, so I use these in my planner too. And then I also have some pages clipped off with these book darts, which I think I had thought were from Midori originally. I think I accidentally said that in a different video. I don't actually know what company they're from. Book Darts Inc. Okay, well, Book Darts Inc. then. Thank you, Book Darts Inc. I found mine on Jet Pens. These are really popular. You can find them there. Link below. And then how I navigate the planner are these tabs down below. So this tab goes to my monthly, this tab goes to my weekly, and then this tab goes to my notes pages. So really simple to navigate, really easy to use. I don't really like tabs on the side. It just doesn't work for me. Okay, so let's go inside the work planner. These first 2 pages I have clipped off. So this is just the like title page. I just don't really care for this page. I don't really have a use for it, so I just clip it off with a book dart. No problem. I'm not really going to use this particular page, the yearly overview, for anything, so that's fine. This page is the yearly overview, which lots of people use for like trackers, and in my other weeks I do use this for a tracker, but this is a true year at a glance for me for my work planner. So I have the holidays that I get off of work, like there's no work. I have some notes on when the semesters start and stuff. I work in academia, like in websites and marketing and stuff for academia, so knowing when the semester begins and stuff like that is really useful for me, because I also have student workers who I need to make sure I know when their classes start, which means they are starting in my office. I have days that I would like to probably request off, like spring equinox, for example, something like that. I also have my paydays, which I always forget about. They always happen about the same time during the month, but I just consistently am forgetting when I'm getting paid. So useful to have that in there. And then just like holidays, like the holiday break and the Thanksgiving break and stuff like that. So on to my monthlies. This is set up very basically for the next few months. So I have these month name stickers from, again, Sweet Freckle Design, and the colors sort of matched the Paper Minty Studio corner stickers. So this is December, but in like January and beyond, I use the corner stickers to mark those holidays and special days that I will either get off or that I just want to remember that are relevant to my work life in some sort of way. Birthdays are in all of my planners also, so you can see I have my birthday there. Birthdays are in all of my planners because I need to remember them this year, so I put them everywhere. But basically how I use my monthly section, and I'll link my distraction method video up in the cards so you can check it out, but I use my distraction method, so that's writing in green on every day, like what distracted me from my priorities, taking over my weekends with a priorities box, and writing like the goals for this 2-week chunk in that priorities box, etc., etc. This 2-week block is called a sprint in my work style. Lots of you commented on my planner distraction method video that you are familiar with that, which is great. So we have 2-week sprints in my office, and this was like the leftover sprint week from the other week, which is in November. So this one just gets a little tiny box, but the other two, this one is the last sprint of the calendar year for us at my office, and then we get a 2-week break because, again, I work in academia. Down here, I have a task log and an accomplishments at work notice, so that changes a little bit here. I ended up having future log down here, and because January goes to the next line, I just put it over here. Down here at the bottom, I wrote task log and accomplishments at work. So task log becomes future log in the future spreads. So you can see I have future log here. I don't have it written out here because I'm still just testing out whether or not I like the future log for my work planner. I definitely like having accomplishments down here, and I'm going to try to make sure that I write at least 4 to fill out these checkboxes because I just want to remember what I've accomplished during the year. I think it's a good mental health practice, so I like having that there, but we do have a future log type system that we use in Asana at work, and I may just not really need a future log in my planner if we have that, so I'm testing it out for January, but it may just be like, I don't need to rewrite that in because I'm not going to use it. Going back to these like holidays and stuff, if they're on the weekend, I put the little corner tab on the bottom because I'll probably be writing priorities up here and then listing priorities, so just kind of more out of the way there, which is good. And then that continues all the way through, you can see here I have potential trip home. So like just adding a sticky note if I think I'm gonna go home that weekend. That's my grandma's birthday that weekend. She's turning a whole 100. I'm so impressed with her. I need to know her secrets. So that continues on. I put all of these monthly stickers in advance, thinking that I would definitely like to use them for this planner because I didn't really use my sidebar very much in my previous weeks that I used for work. But I do feel the bump. I do feel the bump on all of these like this particular place in the planner. So when I got to like my weeks and I started writing on that part of the planner, I really did feel a bump. So that was kind of a bummer, but should have expected it, should have known. And then we get into the weeks. So this has been my first week in this planner. I have events, priorities, memories, and notes. It's looking pretty good. It's looking about as I expected. Over here on the side, I have highlighted the days that I'm actually in the office. I work on a hybrid schedule, so some days I'm in the office, some days I'm working from home. Over here, I'm just writing little notes and memories for the day and stuff like that. I have not quite figured out what to do for the weekend yet because I'm not going to be using this planner on the weekends anymore. So I'm half considering just like putting more goals and priorities down there, but we'll see. I've set up the next couple of weeks with the same sort of delineating line here and here so that I can keep going with those sections. And I really like that. And that's all. So when we get into the notes section, the only thing that changed was I wanted to do a work vision board and goals to cover this page, but I have not done that yet because I don't really have like specific work related goals that aren't related to like finance right now. I have some goals that I'm working on with my team, of course, but those are again housed in a different place. So I don't really need to do that here. I may revisit it, may not, we'll see. And so starts my notes page. I haven't used it hardly at all. I don't really take a tremendous amount of notes at work on paper. A lot of them are digital, but I did put my Kava order in there. So if you're looking to buy me Kava, this is my order. Thank you very much. But yeah, the rest of the section is pretty blank because I'll just be using this basically as scratch paper. And I'm not gonna use any of the sections here in the back either. This is my Japanese Hobonichi weeks, whereas my personal one is my English one, so I can't even read these anyways, but they're also not really related to my work, so not a big deal. Okay, moving on. Now we get into my personal weeks, which is such a beautiful cover. I just really still love this cover. And when we open it up, you can see I have yet more stickers in the plastic cover here on the side, more Paper Minty Studio stickers, and then these are more very old Caffeine and Paper Co. stickers. These ones are not her itty bitty transparent ones. They're the slightly larger ones. I can't remember what that line is called for her, but I just have a bunch left over and I'm really trying to completely get my sticker sheets done as fast as I can because I want to buy new ones. You can see here that I have put in my other customsticker.com stickers. So the Rachelle in Theory one is transparent, so you can get like transparent stickers from them as well if you want. The cat one is not. And then I have this workout but make it cute sticker, which is actually from a brand called Pop Flex. I bought one of their sweaters. It's like the big gray one that I wear sometimes if you've seen me wearing that and you're like, why does she keep messing with her sleeves? It's because the sleeves on that one are freaking amazing and I love them. So this is just a sticker that they gave me. I don't know that I want to like permanently stick it in this spot, so it's just in this little secretarial plastic pocket that comes with the Hobonichi weeks. But I do like that it matches my tabs, right? So the tabs I have that are pink, orange, and green, and this is sort of pink, orange, and green. I think that's kind of cool. By the way, those tabs that I'm using are just like the Post-it brand repositional tabs. They're nothing special, but they are really, really good. I highly recommend this product. They're super easy to reposition. The only thing is that if you place it over like a marker that bleeds or a pencil, the pencil part of the lead will stick to the sticky part of this, so just keep that in mind. But these are great, I love them. So same thing as on the work planner, I just clipped this page with a book dart because I don't care about it. On this first page here with the yearly overview, oops, oh no, it's fine. Everything's fine. On this first page with the yearly overview, I did take this important dates section down here and I did take out the time to write all the full moons and the dark moons and the lunar and solar eclipses. I messed up a little bit up here, so they're kind of bleeding up there, but this is stuff that I use spiritually, so it just helps to have it there because I'm always Googling what phase is the moon in, what sign is the moon in, and struggling to remember my important dates. So having them there is helpful, but this will still just be a reference page for me. This yearly tracker has gone through some iterations. So these are going to be the changes that I was telling you guys about in the beginning of the video. Basically, this planner went through a couple iterations since I uploaded my planner lineup video. This was initially going to be a hobbies tracker where I would write down or otherwise note what hobby I participated in that day, if at all. So reading, gaming, writing, doing tarot, watching YouTube. These are like things I consider hobbies. So I was going to note down when I did those things during a day. And then I didn't really have an idea for up here, so I was like, okay, I'll just maybe leave that blank. And then I went back into my other weeks, and I was watching one of the old videos that I made about this week's. And I remembered that I had told myself in that video that I would recreate this movement and weight tracker for myself in my new Hobonichi weeks. And I was like, oh my God, how could I have forgotten that? I really need to do that here. But in that planner stack video, you'll also notice that I had like a whole different health journal that I was going to set up. So my initial health journal was going to be a Hobonichi Techo original, and I was going to track things in this section, like movement, weight, all that kind of stuff. But what I realized sort of over like the course of filling out these planners and setting them up was that I really needed my health information in this planner because I'm taking this planner with me. So my original thought was to have all my health information in here. Beautiful, perfect. I can just pick it up when I'm going to the doctor's office. But like, this is the planner that is actually my everyday carry. This is what I have on me all the time. So I need this planner to be the planner where that information lives. So with that, I had set this up like it was going to be a movement and weight tracker because I wanted that health information close by. So you can see I wrote like several weight increments over here on the side, intending to use this as sort of like a line graph. I also had previously sketched out a bunch of things in pencil that would have made this like a great movement and weight tracker. And I set that up and I left that alone for a couple of days because I started using this planner in November. Obviously it started, I think the 28th of November is the first day that this planner starts on. And so I was using this planner, like anticipating starting December 1st that I would use this as a movement and weight tracker. And then I fell back in love with the idea of doing a hobbies tracker. So instead what I did was I set up some movement and weight stuff in the notes section, which I'll get to this in a second. But this went through its iterations. That's just why you see the weight delineations over here. I'm gonna cover that up with just like washi tape or something. And instead what I'm going to do is, and what I've already started doing, as you can see over here, is use this as the hobbies tracker I always dreamed of having. And I'm going to track my reading, my gaming, writing, the tarot stuff I do, and the YouTube that I do for pleasure. And over here you can already see I've read the first 2 days out of the year. I did some tarot the first day of the year of December, and I did YouTube both days. So kind of fun, right? I'm eventually going to like color code this and stuff because I think looking at it on a color graph will be really fun, but I have to set this up knowing that I will be able to fill it out with any pen. So I'm not gonna busy myself with color coding right away. Just as long as I can fill it out with any color pen or any kind of pen, I'm happy. And then up here, instead of doing a weight tracker, like I said, I'll cover that up. I'll do favorites. I'll do monthly favorites. So this month, for example, I might do like my favorite tarot deck up there or something like that, or my favorite new YouTube channel or something to that effect. And it's just gonna be nice to have like one quick at a glance favorites up there. So that's how I'm planning on using this. And I've already started, and this is my key, and it's cool. Okay, so these are what my months look like so far. I have set up the first 3 months in this planner fully. 4 months. So the first quarter of 2021, 2021? Oh my God. The first quarter of 2023, and then also December, obviously. So December and the first quarter is like my trial month, figuring out if I like this, and then we'll move on and we'll figure out the rest. But basically this has the name of the month over here on the side. I'd used a stamp set, just one of the basic alphabet stamp sets you can get on Amazon in this planner. And then I put in dates, so birthdays, holidays, etc. And then I put washi tape down. I covered the days that are technically visible on the monthly spread, but that actually aren't part of the planner itself. And then I wrote in a future log and an accomplishments section. So you saw this accomplishments section in my work planner, but I also have it in my personal planner because I want to note my personal accomplishments. I think it would be nice. And then I have a future log down here basically saying like what I need to think about when this month comes up. I think I'm going to use this a lot more than I'd use a future log in my work planner. But as you can see for February, like one of my friends is leaving for a master's program in New Zealand, so I have that noted so I can remember to schedule a goodbye with him. And then planning a New Orleans trip. We're thinking about going to New Orleans. So yes, I realized I did just say New Orleans and New Orleans. What is the correct pronunciation? New Orleans folks, let me know. Anyways, we're gonna plan that sometime for February or March. We can't decide if we wanna go during Mardi Gras or after Mardi Gras when the crowds have died down, so we'll see. But anyway, so those are like my future log things that I need to attend to in February. And then I also for December added a priority section, which is get planner set up for January, which is what I'm doing now, which is fun. I had initially said in my planner lineup video that I was going to use this kind of more in the realm of my hobbies, like saying when I started this TV show, when I ended this TV show, whatever. But the more I thought about that, the more I decided not to do that. And it's because sometimes I will like start a TV show, in January and then binge it for a week and then totally forget about it until like months and months later. And then I'll be like, ended this TV show, I guess? And I just think that's like, there's too much disconnect between that for me. So I came up with another system, which I'll show you in the notes page, that I think I like better. So those are the months. You can see I have like birthdays and holidays all throughout, which I'm happy about. And then we get to the weeks. So this has been my week this week. I have events over here, priorities here, memories and notes, the same way I have my work Hobonichi weeks set up. And I just started with this and I have some ideas about how I'm going to change it, but it went pretty well for the first week. I got into the rhythm of switching back and forth between this week here and this week when I was in different mindsets. I don't know if it's like the anxiety in my brain or what like neurodivergence is happening there, but I really need a place to write down everything that comes up during the day. So like a capture method basically. And this worked really well. I had some struggles during the beginning of the week, remembering which planner that I was in, but after I just got some practice, it was really, really easy to figure out where certain stuff went. So this is just for work stuff, and this is for work and personal stuff, and birthdays are in both, but this one I did end up playing around with the layout a little bit. So with my personal stuff and personal priorities, it's not just that I have a set of personal priorities and a set of work priorities. Within my personal priorities, I have a few different sections. So what I set up for next week is an events column, a personal column that covers things like, reaching out to my brother for his birthday, making sure I go on a run, making sure I shower, making sure I meal prep, and then a content section for priorities. So this content section is going to be everything for YouTube, basically, and for Instagram. Go follow me on Instagram, by the way. It's at Rachelle in Theory. So many people have followed me on Instagram recently. I am so flattered. Thank you so much. But I did find myself kind of struggling to know exactly how to prioritize those things, because sometimes you're like, I need to shower, I need to run, I need to do all this stuff personally, and then also I have this video going up and I need to make sure to check in on the comments, and these are two different sections of my brain, so they have two different sections of my planners, and I think that will work. So I'm going to try it for next week, see how it goes, and then I have just a notes section over here. So the thing missing is this memories column, but I think that's okay because I can either comment a memory here or I can just stick a sticker somewhere in this block, because a lot of space right now is being taken up, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to try that for next week, and then we'll see how I like it for the following weeks. Definitely this events column is staying because that helps me coordinate so much. So you can see I had already set up my previous system here in the coming weeks, but I will change that if this goes successfully. So here you can kind of see this planner is becoming an everything planner. It's becoming an all things personal, all things not related to work planner, which is totally fine with me. And that continues and continues until the notes pages. So this is another page I had initially planned to vision board on, but I just decided I didn't want to do that. I looked back at some other vision boards that I had made for inspiration in some other planners, and I didn't end up relying on them very heavily. So I just kind of think I'm going to leave this blank as is, and if I want to come back and vision board it later, I can. So the notes section is where it gets a little bit more multi-purpose. So what I realized was I really need everything related to my goals in this planner, in addition to what I wanted to track for my hobbies, and I think I can make it work. The one thing that's missing from this is a thorough health, like symptom tracker, which I can still do in my Hobonichi Techo, but I think it may just be that I cover that in my monthly section. Like I may just write little symptoms here or something like that, or in the notes section in my week. So I haven't decided where I'm gonna put that information yet, because I know that I will need it. I just don't know where it's easiest to fit it, if that makes sense. But I do have some other trackers back here that I've built, really just mainly one. So I left a blank page here that may be like I may copy over some of my goals from my common planner, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this yet. And then I created basically what amounts to a habit tracker. It amounts to like a year at a glance. So the year at a glance in the beginning of the Hobonichi weeks is super small. It basically has space for only me to write like one letter, or you should write like one dot. But I created this myself, so I could add as many columns as I wanted. So I added 8 columns here in each of the months, and just wrote the days of the month down the side. And this was really made to replicate the quarterly planning system that is in Sterling Inc.'s Common Planner, which I will be using for goal planning. And the reason I wanted to replicate this, even though I typically don't like to do things twice, but again, I just realized that this was going to be my main planner that I was in, and not having it in both places, I think, made me a little anxious because I couldn't see my progress and see what was going on. So these habits all relate to my goals in some way. I have no spend, which relates to a financial goal that I have. I haven't really talked about my financial goals on this channel because they're really basic. They're just like budget, don't spend too much money. I also have movement, staying under my calorie goal, tracking my period and my menstrual cycle, reading more, doing my spiritual lessons, and keeping up with my planner. So the only one that is not directly related to one of my goals is no snooze. I want to track how many times I don't snooze because I measured myself this week, and historically I snooze my alarm 9 times every morning. 9 times. So I really need to stop that. I really need to get over that. And then down here at the bottom, this is where I decided to do my weight tracker. So I have between 155 pounds and 135 pounds here. My goal is to lose 30 pounds this year. So this is not quite 30 pounds, but once I lose some weight, then on the next page, I can just start with whatever my starting weight is here, whether that's, it'll probably be like somewhere around here. But if it's like still at 150 or 155, which is where my weight is fluctuating right now, then I'll just start with that again, and that's okay. I have December, January, February, March, and April here, and then through September here. These stickers are also from Sweet Freckle Design, but I had used the September sticker, so I had all of the stickers except September, so I just wrote September in. I think it looks nice, right? And then I have October and November on the side over here. And you can see I've left the habit tracker section up at the top blank because tracking this may be really helpful for me, or it may be really useless for me, and I just won't know until the end of the month. So I'm gonna see how it goes in December and then start fresh in January, and so on and so forth. I've left a few more pages blank here because I want to be able to come in and add trackers that I see fit to add. Essentially ones that I'm thinking about adding right now. I already talked to you about potentially adding a goals breakdown here, but I also might want to add like a YouTube subscriber tracker thing. I'm not quite sure yet. Or I might want to add something else. So I've left plenty of pages here. There's no harm in it, so I just left it. And then I split up the rest of the book according to months. So you can see I have about 5 pages for each month, and I've started using it for December, and I love it so far. It's like such a small section, but I'm really happy with it. So this is how I'm actually going to track like media that I watch. I'm going to write the name of the media over here, add a little icon so that I can scan, and like, if it's a movie, it'll be like a little popcorn bucket or something, and then split it up into parts and sort of like check off the parts as I complete them. So the particular audiobook of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief that I'm reading is split up into 8 sections just on the particular app that I use. It just naturally splits it like that instead of chapters. Ordinarily, I'd probably do chapter sections, or if this was a TV show, I'd do seasons or episodes or something like that. And I have a little 5-star rating down here at the bottom I can tell you right now, the audiobook of Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief is probably like a 2-star rating. I remember loving this book when I was a kid, but revisiting it as an adult and as somebody who's extensively studied Greek mythology, there are a lot of issues with the text. But furthermore, the audiobook, the guy who reads the audiobook just sounds like he's like a salesman in a commercial for kids clothing. It's horrible. Percy is unbearable to listen to, but I'm listening to it anyways, and I'm excited to finish it. It's my first book in my 24 book goal for 2023, so yes, I am counting it even though it's 2022. It just is what it is. I need to get my wins, okay? I need to get my wins. So I think that's really cute, and I think I'll just keep doing that with anything. So I might, put like a little picture here once I'm done and write a little review, or I might not, and I might move on. I might write my favorite quote or something. I might not. It doesn't really matter to me. This is going to be like a free space where I can creatively document the stuff that I'm reading, watching, listening to, and then we'll get to January and I'll start over. I'll do the same thing in January. So in the back, there's this favorites page, and I talked about doing a monthly favorites here. I'm already doing a monthly favorites in the beginning, but the beginning monthly favorites is probably going to be like either like my favorite from each category or like my favorite overall. And then this, I think I'm going to make a yearly favorites. So looking back on the whole year, what are my favorite things that I watched, read, or listened to? So there's not going to be a set number of books, a set number of movies, or anything like that. It's just going to be what it is. And then my 100, I'm actually changing to a 50-50 list. So the first page is going to be 50 books, and then the second page is going to be 50 movies. I watch a lot of movies and I don't read a lot of books. So I anticipate that if I don't fill out this column, if I meet my 24 book goal, I'll fill out this column. If I don't get to this column, I can just fill it in with movies and call it good. The only movie I've seen so far in the course of this planner is She Said, which, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then my favorite things, I'm going to be handing my planner around to all my favorite people and asking them to fill one of these out. I'm really excited for it because it's going to be like I have a little piece of all my favorite people. I don't really have any ideas for what to do for this 365 days checkoff sheet. I think I might just leave it blank, but there's plenty of time before the new year for me to think about that and decide. So let me know what you're using instead. If you liked this video, you may want to go follow me on Instagram. I'm at Rachelle in Theory over there. It's a fun time. I post little updates every day. Or if you want to stay on this wavelength, check out the video that I've just put on the screen. You might like it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.